Hey guys, Lloyd. I got a really cool package in the mail today. Thanks to my LOGITECH Circleview Doorbell, it was really easy to know that it arrived. Come on inside and I'll tell you all about it.
Hello and welcome, I'm Lloyd, and my channel is all about building a smart home with Apple HomeKit. If you're a fellow HomeKit user or someone who's been thinking about getting into HomeKit, then please consider subscribing to my channel so you can catch my future videos. Today I want to give you guys an overview of the LOGITECH Circleview Doorbell. This is a HomeKit enabled doorbell with HomeKit Secure Video, and it connects to your 2.4 or 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and it was released last December in the United States. I'm not going to go into all the specs or compare this to other smart doorbells on the market. There are a lot of really great videos out there if that's what you're looking for, and I'll include some of the links from some of my favorite creators in the comments below. I know this product's been out for a while now, so in this video I want to share my experiences since installing this doorbell and give you the top 5 ways that I'm using this in my smart home. If you've been on the fence about this and you're still trying to decide whether or not this doorbell's right for you, then hopefully this video helps you out. Currently, the US is the only country where this product is sold, and that's a problem for me because I live in Canada. I did inquire with Logitech about a future release date to Canada, but not surprisingly, I wasn't able to get any information. There are some third-party websites out there that will, for hefty premium, ship items only available in the US to Canada and other countries. Lucky for me, Josh from the HomeKit Life is in the United States and was kind enough to hook me up. Josh is a fellow HomeKit enthusiast. He has a YouTube channel called The HomeKit Life and a weekly podcast, HomeKit 5. I highly recommend that you check both of those out, and I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks again, Josh. I've had this installed for several weeks now to test it out, and I have to say, it's been awesome for me. There is an option to have it professionally installed, but I was like, I've got this. Also, the professional install option's only available in the US, so yeah, there's that too. Honestly though, if you have any experience with wiring, then it's pretty straightforward. Before purchasing the doorbell on the website, Logitech will walk you through some basic questions to make sure that your existing wiring is compatible. Do not skip this step. If your wiring is not compatible and you really want this doorbell, then you may need to hire an electrician in order to upgrade your existing wiring. This doorbell comes with a mounting template, some wires, screws, and a couple of mounting brackets so that you can choose whether you want to mount the doorbell flush or on a 20-degree angle, which is what I found gave me the best viewing angle for my front door. Since this was my first time installing a doorbell, I took my time with it, but the instructions on the Logitech website were great at walking me step by step through the installation. The first step is adding the doorbell to HomeKit, which is done right through the Home app. In order to do this, you need a micro USB cord in order to power the doorbell. And oddly, this isn't included in the box. I expect most people have a USB cord laying around like I did, but definitely something that you want to be aware of. I do have to say, however, that this took me forever to add to HomeKit. Every time I tried to add it, I kept getting an error. I tried by using NFC and I tried scanning the HomeKit code, and I was just stuck in this loop of trying to add it, resetting the doorbell, trying to add it again, until after about an hour, it just magically suddenly worked. Now I've talked to others who've experienced similar problems, but for some, it worked right away. The important thing is once I finally was able to add this to HomeKit, I had no further connection issues. Before you get into any installation, you need to make sure that the power is off. I went down to my electrical panel and I cycled through pretty much every single breaker, making sure that the power was off, and I couldn't seem to find it. I'm not sure if your house is the same as mine, but a tip that could save you some time, as well as some flights up and down the stairs, mine was connected to my furnace, so who knew? Logitech's website will take you step by step through the installation process, and my advice is just to take your time and follow along with each step, and it's pretty hard to go wrong. Overall, the installation went smoothly. I was hoping to use the existing holes from my previous doorbell, However, they were too close to the stone, so I ended up having to drill new holes in order for it to fit, which really wasn't a big deal. The video quality is great. The camera has a 5 megapixel sensor with a 1200 by 1600 resolution with HDR. This provides a clear image that won't get blown out when it's super bright outside. Now, the color night vision is impressive due to the LED on the doorbell itself. The LED can be turned off if you wish, but you can't change the brightness. An additional outdoor lighting will further improve the video quality at night. This is also the first consumer doorbell with Homekit Secure Video, which in a nutshell is a feature that includes live streaming through the Home app with end-to-end encryption and detects events when people, animals, or cars appear. The recordings are available for up to 2 weeks, but of course you can easily save recordings individually as needed. Only members of your home are able to view the feed, and you can choose which members in your home have access to view past recordings. Unlike many smart home cameras, the feed is analyzed locally using your home hub, not using a cloud service, which further increases the security and privacy. A home hub can be a HomePod, Apple TV, or an iPad. And maybe best of all, this is a free service for iCloud subscribers with at least 200 gigabytes of data. With a 200 gigabyte plan, that includes 1 camera or 5 cameras on the 2 terabit plan. Here are the top 5 ways that I'm using the Logitech Circleview Doorbell. This doorbell has both a light sensor and a motion sensor that can be used to trigger automations. The motion sensor is video-based and not reliable in my opinion, but the light sensor allows me to turn on my outdoor lights based on how bright it is rather than simply based on the time of day or the position of the sun. This can't be done on the Home app unfortunately, but luckily there are some great third-party apps where you can do this. I've set this up on the Home Plus 5 app. The app's $21 Canadian, but allows for some more advanced automations. You can also do this using the Eve app, which is a free app, and I've mentioned this in some of my other videos. It's a great way to control your smart home. I've set my outdoor lights to turn on automatically when the light falls below 120 lux. Lux is a measurement of light as perceived by the human eye. This is helpful because sometimes it gets pretty dark before sunset, especially on an overcast day. So using a light sensor is a more practical way to automate these lights. When the doorbell is pressed, my front entrance lights turn on. I can conveniently have the entry lights turn on when somebody's at the door. This can be easily customized based on the time of day and in the presence of people. So I have my entry lights turn on automatically when the doorbell is pressed between an hour before sunset and sunrise, and only when someone's home. And then the lights will turn off automatically after 10 minutes. Now, one thing to note here that could be a little annoying is that there's no way to return those lights to its previous state after that 10-minute period. Since this is just an entry light, it's not a big deal though. On that note, you can turn other lights on in the house as another indicator that the doorbell's pressed. I did also set this up so that when the doorbell is pressed, my office lamp goes on 100% brightness and turns blue. This is great in case I'm in my office working and I might not hear the notification on my other devices. Monitoring my front yard using the live feed. I was a little bit surprised by this, but I found several reasons to check in on the camera feed to see what's happening at the front of my house. This is a video doorbell, so its main function is not a security camera, but it's still an effective way at monitoring your front yard. I have a fairly small front yard, so this works quite well for me. The video is portrait as opposed to landscape, which isn't ideal for a security camera, but it works quite well for a doorbell as it allows you to see the person from head to toe. And more importantly than seeing someone's shoes, it allows me to see packages that have been delivered to my door. The 160-degree viewing angle isn't going to show you your entire front yard, but it's a great starting point if you don't have an outdoor camera. This is helpful for me to make sure the kids have brought their bikes in or they didn't leave toys outside. And I also use it to check to see if the garbage and recycling trucks have come by so I can go back out and bring my bins in. The two-way speaker allows you to have a conversation with someone using your iPhone or other Apple device. I would have thought that this would be helpful if you were away from home for visitors or the delivery person. However, I've also found it useful to talk to the kids when they're playing outside. Time to come inside, guys. To remind them to put their stuff away, check in, or just let them know it's time to come inside. Admittedly, the speaker isn't super loud on the doorbell, but it's loud enough that under normal conditions, our kids have been able to hear us when playing out front. They also like going to the doorbell for absolutely no reason and sending us random notifications with funny faces or messages. They also check the feed for neighborhood cats and dogs, and there was also a recent thunderstorm where we captured some video of Thunderbolts. I mean, my kids would tell you another great reason to purchase this doorbell is entertainment. Before I get to the fifth way I'm using this doorbell, if you're enjoying this video, then please show your support by giving this video a thumbs up or dropping me a comment, as it really does help support the channel. Okay, so the fifth and final way that I'm using my Logitech Circleview Doorbell is for face recognition and notifications. Thanks to Homekit Secure Video, you can configure your notifications based on when motion is detected within a specified activity zone, so it's not just when the doorbell is pressed. Your hub uses your photo library to identify known individuals and can notify you if that person was detected. And if they press the doorbell, then it'll notify you who's at the door. This is a pretty cool feature. You can set this up to use your built-in chime, HomePods, or both. I have my built-in chime turned off and I use my HomePods. Because I have HomePods throughout the house, it's pretty easy to hear when somebody's at the door.
It looks like Ashlyn Lloyd is at the door.
It would be really nice if you could configure your doorbell chime and select different chimes for different people, or customize the doorbell to play a song, but currently there's no option for this. It's not just your HomePods or your HomePod minis where you can get doorbell notifications. Notifications, as I mentioned earlier, can be customized to go to multiple devices such as your phone, HomePods, watch, iPad, MacBook, and best of all, Apple TV.
This game has changed big time.
Looks like Lloyd is at the door.
I'm excited to see this in action on the new Apple TV 4K once it arrives. I placed my pre-order this week and I'll have a video coming out later this month. Well, it's 2021 and I finally have a smart doorbell. And I think it was worth it. There are just so many benefits when switching from a standard doorbell. And with this one, it's HomeKit enabled and it has HomeKit Secure Video. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. However, it's not perfect and there's definitely some enhancements that need to be made. While it's pretty good, there is a bit of a delay opening the camera when the doorbell is pressed, especially on the Apple Watch. When someone's standing at your door, it's pretty important to be able to communicate with them quickly or they're gone. Now, before you all go suggesting in the comments that Logitech should add Thread to their doorbell, Thread is for low bandwidth devices and probably not something that we're going to see in cameras in the future. The motion sensor is also very sensitive. It's good for recording video, but it's easily triggered by insects or even changes in light. I tried setting up an automation that would turn my outdoor lights on when motion was detected and then turn it off after 10 minutes. My lights turned on just fine, but after the 10 minutes when the lights turned off, the sensor recognized the change in light and triggered the lights to turn back on. And this just continued to reoccur every 10 minutes, so not very useful. The temperature rating is -20 to +40 degrees Celsius, and here in Canada, we do occasionally get -20 degree temperatures, so I'll be interested to see how this performs next winter. Logitech also says this shouldn't be kept in direct sunlight to avoid overheating. The Logitech Circleview Doorbell retails for $199 or $299 with professional installation in the United States only. Hopefully this will be available to other countries around the world soon. Thanks for sticking with me and for your continued support. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments if you have found any uses for a smart doorbell camera that have been surprisingly or maybe unexpectedly useful for you. That's it for today's video. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.